What's up, sneaker fans? Thanks for tuning in to a More Than Hype review. Now, over the past 2-3 years, New Balance has done a really great job of garnering and gaining enthusiasm for their brand. It wasn't very long ago that New Balance was synonymous with dad shoes, or this idea of dad shoes, and to some, it still is today. But in 2020, they had their hit with the 327, then in 2021, the 550 as well as the 5740, a number of collaborations, and that brings us to 2022, and New Balance, the brand, is stronger than it's been in a long time. Today, I have a fan favorite here, the 550 in the UNC colorway. So let's get right into the review, starting with the packaging. New Balance is making a lot of the right moves right now, but one thing they can do better is packaging. Just in general, make the packaging more exciting. Most New Balance releases that aren't a made in US release come in this gray New Balance box. And this is almost like the standard one-size-fits-all box. But I think when it comes to the 550s or the 327s, they should be treated a little bit more special than their other releases. It is what it is, and it'll probably stay this way, but that's just my opinion. So you get New Balance or the NB logo up top on this gray box, some more logos all over, and then we have our label on this side here. Now, taking a look at the label, style code for these is BB550HL1. As I mentioned earlier, this is the UNC colorway or the Carolina Blue colorway. Far as sizing goes, man, this is something that's really frustrating with New Balances because I just can't seem to get it right the first time. The sizing is sporadic to say the least, so usually I find that 550s run big, so that's why I got a size 8 here. My true size is an 8.5, but I'm finding with this artisan pack, that is this UNC colorway that released with an orange as well as a black and white colorway, do run more true to size. So this 8 is pretty tight and borderline unwearable. I'll have to find a size 8.5 in these because these 8s are just too small for my feet. So for these, the artisan pack, go true to size is my recommendation. Far as women's sizing goes, the size conversion is always 1.5 sizes up for women's, so this 8 in men's would be a 9.5 in women's. Really strange how inconsistent the shoe is based on colorway, not something I've seen from a silhouette before, but it is what it is, and that's why I'm making these videos, to let you all know. But with all that said, now let's take a look at the shoes. So we open up the box, we got New Balance on the paper, but here are the shoes, and man, these are very, very nice. Seeing them in hand, you can never really tell on in pictures, but the shade of blue they chose here is really very nice. But let's get both pairs out and take a closer look. Alright, so now let's take a look at the UNC or Carolina Blue 550. And this is an extremely clean colorway. I think their best to date. I'll go that far because the blue here is really that nice. Let's get into the details here, starting with the upper. Now, the majority of your upper is in this smooth white leather. On the quarter panel here, we have some perforations, and this is one of my favorite parts of the 550, is the sort of trim that they have in the matching color that goes straight through the silhouette. I just really like this line here. I think it breaks up the monotony of all of that white leather, and it is a pretty bulky shoe, but this sort of makes it look sleek in my opinion. I don't know. But we have that same sort of trim here around the end logo. So this is a synthetic. It's like a foam end logo there. Very nice. Moving on to the toe box here, we have our 550 on our first two eyelets here, printed on. And this is something I've been a little bit critical of the 550, but the printing they've done here is much higher quality than they've done in past releases. More smooth leather around the toe box, some perforations here. On this side, we get that same sort of style of perforations around this area. Very nice. Another end logo. Moving on to the heel. Again, I've been very critical of New Balance when it comes to the print that they've put on 550s, but they've really stepped up their game in that respect. You can actually feel this sort of texture of this NB logo on the heel here. You might even be able to see it, but much nicer logo here than in past releases I've seen. Around the heel you have some fabric padded nicely in that Carolina blue color. These come stock with flat white laces, and they do not come with an extra set of laces. Our classic retro basketball bouncing NB logo, New Balance 550 here. A little bit of matching color stitching or trim around the tongue as well. The inner lining is also in this UNC blue color, or this Carolina blue color. You can see here, nothing on the aglets. And then we have our standard New Balance Comfort insole on the inside. So we have our white NB logo there. It's all in black, and that basically is a mixture of Ortholite as well as New Balance foam. And if I can get them out, I can show you. So there you have it. NB logo here. New Balance arch support here in this foam material, and we can kind of see the separation better on the underside. So we have our regular blue Ortholite foam on the forefoot, and then a little bit more of a durable cushioning for your heel area here. Pretty standard in 550s. This is what you always get. I'd say that insole is just good enough. For me, Ortholite is an open cell foam, so it'll eventually die down and you're not really left with much cushioning. But that's a good segue into the midsole and outsole. So this has been inspired by retro 80s basketball shoe, so it is going to be heavy. And it is in fact heavy. Sort of like an Air Force One, you have this chunk of rubber on the bottom, and you know, it is what it is, but it looks really nice in all of these different colors. So we have white for the majority of our midsole here, white stitching to match in our double cup sole, and the leather, or rather the rubber, goes all the way up to the upper here. So all these pieces, the blue and the black, is also rubber, just adding to the weight of the shoe. But it is in this very nice Carolina blue color as well as black to sort of match the theme of the rest of the shoe. New Balance logo here, as well as our NB logo here. And then we get a really rugged, really thick rubber outsole here. We have Carolina blue on the heel, as well as on the toe here, and our pivot point. The majority of your forefoot is in this black color, and then we have a little bit of white down here. And then, of course, how can I forget, we have our EVA wedge on the inside in white as well. So after that insole, this is where your cushioning is coming from. And yeah, that's about it for these. Really solid colorway, really nice release. I'm really loving what they're doing with the 550. I'm still waiting on a more premium version of the 550s, something with nice soft plush leather, maybe a suede or a nubuck. I think any of those other materials that they could possibly use on these would be really cool. But that's all I have to say about these. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more sneaker related content, and I'll catch you on the next video.